Precinct 1 Constable Alan Rosen, Harris County Fire Marshal Lori Christensen, Assistant Chief Deputy Constable for Precinct 4, John Hecker, Chief Deputy for Constable Precinct 5, Jordan Goff, the Division Chief for Vehicular Crimes at the Harris County District Attorney's Office, Whitney Raspberry, the Senior Director of Operations and Communications at the Harris County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council, Amy Smith, and then a representative from the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Sharice Thomas. Thank you so much for being here. And with that, Commissioner Lesley Briones.
Thank you all for being here. I'm Lesley Briones, and I'm very grateful to serve as your Harris County Commissioner for Precinct 4. And I'm so honored to be here today with so many Beth Cohen just named, especially our Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, our Constable Alan Rosen, of representatives from my other two constables from Precinct 4, Constable Herman's office, as well as Precinct 5 from Constable Albritton's office, as well as representatives from the District Attorney's office, our Domestic Violence Coordinating Council, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and more. The reason we are here is December is National Impaired Driving Prevention Month. Now, this is something that is deeply personal to me because I remember vividly in high school losing one of my classmates to drunk driving and seeing that empty chair at graduation. It's deeply personal to me because my oldest daughter, Valentina, is about to turn 16 and she will soon be on our Houston, Harris County roads, and to be honest, it terrifies me. Personal to me because every time my little girls go asked to ride a bike in our neighborhood, especially around the holidays, it just worries me. The holidays are a time for fun, a time for joy, a time for gathering. I know that so many of you will spend so much time at different holiday parties with friends and families. But when we talk about home for the holidays, let us come together so that we all get home during the holidays. We have a huge challenge here in Harris County, to be frank. Over 30% of our Harris County vehicle fatalities involved impaired driving. And the rate here is higher than Texas's rate, and it's higher than the United States' rate. And we're taking action. Harris County is working on a Vision Zero that we can get to zero fatalities here in Harris County through our road design, through use of technology, and otherwise. We are working on these various solutions, traffic calming, better lighting, so many different actions. But at the end of the day, the best action is planning and the choices that each of us make as community members. So if you're going out to a party, please identify a designated driver, or plan on rideshare, or walk, or take public transportation, but do not get behind the wheel if you have been drinking or have been using other substances. And in addition to drunk driving and fatalities, the holidays are also a time of increase in domestic violence. And no one should ever feel unsafe at their home. With the added stressors during the holidays, finances, limited access, being there at home, we see upticks in domestic violence incidents during the holidays. Again, even $20 million in various supports for domestic violence. So building capacity and the infrastructure between numerous nonprofits across the county. We are putting up information across, for example, Precinct 4 parks and community centers. There's so much we are taking, but again, the best action is one that comes down to you and to the community. If you or anyone you know is experiencing violence from a partner, help them get to the law enforcement officers a safe place to go. Because if we know something, we need to silence, and turning the other way is not a solution, especially when it gets more intense. We especially with children running around at home, friends, neighbors coming over, we don't want to take unnecessary risks, and it starts with our own choices that we make. Safety is a shared responsibility. Oh, yeah.
It's cutting out a lot.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you. Safety is a shared responsibility. Whether it is drunk driving, not locked, we need to make sure that we're protecting ourselves, our children, our families, our friends. And so this 2025 in Harris County, and the way it happen is all of us as friends, family, community members in partnership with officers. And again, I'm so honored that we're here today from our constables. We work podemos prevenir esto totalmente con nuestras decisiones. En el condado Jerez, más de 30% de las muertes en carreteras se deben a conductores bajo los efectos. Esto es más que en Texas y más que en el país. Estamos tomando acción aquí en el condado Jerez. Nuestro plan de acción Visión Cero busca reducir a cero las muertes y lesiones graves en nuestras carreteras, identificando soluciones de diseño como mejorar la iluminación y hacer los cruces más seguros. Y también estamos trabajando con compañías de viajes compartidos para ofrecer opciones de transporte seguro y accesible. Pero también durante esta época de las fechas festivas tenemos más riesgo con la violencia doméstica. Nadie debe sentirse inseguro en su propio hogar. En diciembre los casos aumentan y al nivel nacional la policía ve un 20% más de incidentes. El condado Jerez invierte más de $20 millones en servicios y trabaja con organizaciones para apoyar a los sobrevivientes. Y también sabemos, hay varios recursos en nuestra comunidad, pero últimamente, si sabemos que alguien en nuestra familia, una amiga, alguien está sufriendo, tenemos que ayudarnos uno al otro. Y también, bueno, como mamá, esto me preocupa cada vez que una de mis hijas van a una casa de una de sus amigas o amigos, la seguridad de armas. Y la seguridad de los niños. Más visitas, más niños, más riesgos durante esta temporada. Las armas son una causa principal de muerte juvenil. Pequeñas acciones pueden prevenir tragedias en nuestros hogares. Guardar las armas bajo llave, manténgalas descargadas y también guarde la munición por separado. Nuestro compromiso en la seguridad de todas las familias durante todo el año. La seguridad es un esfuerzo de toda la comunidad. Estamos en esto juntos y podemos hacer nuestra parte. Y ojalá esta temporada de fechas festivas, esta Navidad, este Año Nuevo, juntos podemos hacerlas las más seguras. Ojalá en la historia de nuestro condado de Harris. Bueno, thank you so much again for being here. December is this month where we are focused, and in Commissioner's Court this week, we will be discussing how December is National Impaired Driving Prevention Month. But again, it doesn't have to happen. We can prevent it with our own choices. Plan ahead. Designate a designated driver. Get a ride. Walk. Please, please, every time you get behind the vehicle, make sure you are able to get home and make sure that you're in a position to make sure that your neighbors can get home. Because when we say home for the holidays here in Harris County, we know that as neighbors, together, we can make Harris County a safer place for all of our children and for all of us and all of our families. So with that, please help me welcome our Harris County Sheriff, Ed Gonzalez.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, everyone. I'm Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. Thank you, Commissioner Briones, and everyone that's gathered here today, all these impressive and wonderful leaders. As we enter the holiday season, a time meant for joy, family, and celebration, we also recognize that it can be a time of increased risk and challenges for many in our community. We want to ensure that Harris County families stay safe, supported, and informed. As the Commissioner mentioned, one of the most preventable dangers we see this time of year is impaired driving. As celebrations increase, so does the risk on our roadways. We all recently spoke about Blackout Wednesdays when everybody comes back for the holidays around Thanksgiving, friends reconvene and catch up, and there's a lot of consumption of alcohol and sometimes drugs. The important thing is to plan ahead. As of the end of November of this year, our DWI unit alone has made 571 impaired driving-related arrests. That's 571 dangerous situations stopped before they become tragedies. But I wonder how many more we did not get to. To keep our roadways safe during the holidays, we will be joining our partners here in Harris County with a multi-agency initiative on New Year's Eve. Additionally, our DWI team will be out conducting enhanced enforcement to ensure responsible driving across Harris County throughout the holiday season. Please make a plan before you celebrate. Use a rideshare, call a friend, or designate a sober driver. One bad decision can devastate a family forever. Let's choose safety and look out for one another. Another serious concern that often intensifies during the holiday seasons, as the Commissioner mentioned, is domestic violence. This season could put added stress on families, and too many people face increased danger behind closed doors. So far this year, we have lost 31 persons to domestic violence. That's 31 members of our community who should still be with us, that should still be celebrating, but will not be with their families. 1 out of every 3 murders in unincorporated Harris County is motivated by domestic violence. 1 out of every 3. Your safety and healing are our top priorities. Our family violence team provides essential support, including emergency shelter, crisis counseling, legal advocacy, protective orders, relocation assistance, and help accessing crime victim compensation. To every survivor out there, hear this. We believe you, we support you, and you are not alone. We understand how difficult it can be to ask for help, but please know we are here for you. If you need help, please call our Victim Assistance Unit 713-274-9369. Beyond the home, we're also asking residents to stay alert as they run errands and shop for holidays. Criminals often take advantage of busy stores and crowded parking lots, and one growing concern is bank junking. That's when criminals follow people leaving banks or ATMs to steal cash. Please stay vigilant. Another trend that rises sharply during the holidays is package theft. As more families rely on online shopping, porch pirates are looking for easy opportunities. We encourage residents to use secure delivery options, pick up lockers, or have packages delivered to a trusted neighbor. Also, we know a lot of folks do one-to-one transactions online. I know Constable Rosen and our team as well, we encourage folks to use designated parking spots within our facilities as an added safety measure. So if you're going to meet somebody online, you could do it in a safe place and at least try to mitigate some of the potential, crime that occurs out there during the holidays. Commissioner Briones also mentioned responsible gun ownership. We understand that a lot of people own guns, and as she mentioned, there's going to be a lot of people around the household, a lot of kids, home from school, family visiting over. It's easy for them to get access to a gun, and anything could happen. An unintentional. We've seen it year after year, we see it. Celebratory gunfire, again, there's nothing fun about it. It's against the law. We've seen a lot of people over the years. I've responded to scenes where somebody got killed or seriously hurt. We had a nurse a few years back that was killed as a result of celebratory gunfire. Somebody shot up in the air, and eventually what goes up is going to come down. So please be mindful of that and don't break the law. We're going to be extra vigilant about that as well. But the holiday should be a time of celebration, connection, and peace. Let's work together to keep our families safe on the roads, in our homes, and throughout our community. On behalf of Commissioner Briones and all our law enforcement partners, all the different advocacy groups as well, we and the Harris County Sheriff's Office, we want to thank all our residents for your partnership. As the Commissioner mentioned, it's a shared responsibility, and it requires all of us to work together. We remain committed to protecting you with compassion, professionalism, and dedication. And again, want to just commend all our partners in Harris County law enforcement, from Constable Rosen, Constable Alberton, and Herman as well. They have representatives here as well, and our other colleagues that may not be here but represent other parts of the county as well. We appreciate all the men and women that are out there putting their lives on the line on the roadways and away from their families during this busy holiday season, so that everyone could be safe and return home safely for the holidays. And so please keep them in your prayers as well, as they do a dangerous job out there. And back to the safety again, I know Commissioner Rosen and us, Constable Rosen and us, that we issue gun locks as well. We talked about gun safety. That's something that we're always promoting as well. So take advantage of that. Brevemente le queremos desear a todos una muy feliz temporada navideña, este tiempo tan especial, pero también sabemos que corren muchos peligros. Pueden ser personas que están consumiendo alcohol y después comienzan a conducir en las carreteras. Ya este año, solamente este año, hasta el mes de noviembre, arrestamos a más de 571 personas por la sospecha de que estaban conduciendo intoxicados. También la violencia doméstica es algo muy grave en nuestra comunidad. Aproximada de cada 3 homicidios que investigamos, 1 va a ser relacionado con la violencia doméstica. El 33% más o menos de los homicidios este año en las partes del condado que nosotros respondemos ha sido a través de la violencia doméstica. Y también que pongan mucho ojo cuando van al banco, por ejemplo, al hacer compras. Mucha gente está vigilando y ven que compraron una televisión, por ejemplo, la dejan en el carro y van a otra tienda, y pues ahí van siguiéndolos y los pueden acosar o asaltar. Entonces pongan mucho ojo con eso, y también la seguridad de las armas también. Van a haber muchos niños y familiares en casa, y si no la alza en una manera segura, puede ser algo peligroso. Vemos también casos así a través de los años, donde un niño puede obtener una pistola y pasa un disparo sin intencional, pero muy grave. Entonces, la seguridad pública es una responsabilidad de todos. Entonces, damos gracias a la comisionadora Briones por su liderazgo y a todos los oficiales que nos protegen también. Y gracias a todos. And Commissioner, thank you always for your support of county law enforcement, everything that you do to make sure that we're able to be out there doing our job. And that's why your support is always critical for us to have the resources to be able to work on all these various initiatives. And these are just some. There's a lot of threats out there, but Harris County law enforcement is always ready to respond. With that said, I want to pass it on to my colleague, just a wonderful law enforcement leader in the county and beyond, Constable Alan Rosen with Precinct 1.
Good morning. Thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate it. Commissioner, thank you for assembling this team and making sure that we're all out here doing one thing, and that's keeping people safe. I want to mention about 4 things very briefly that were kind of touched on. One, we are having a DWI initiative, a multi-agency DWI initiative, which is coming up. Constable Herman's office is going to be heading that up. And, we always do that in the spirit of somebody that we lost. We had a deputy who was off duty on the way home from an extra job that pulled over because he was sick on I-45 and was struck by a drunk driver. And he was paralyzed from the waist down and lived for about 7 months. So Deputy Jeffrey Wooten is what we go out and patrol those streets during the holidays for every single year in honor of his memory and making sure that we keep other people safe. Secondly, I will tell you, we have a gift exchange program, I know the Sheriff's Office as well, where we have signs, and people that buy things online, please go to a place where you're going to exchange those gift items. We have cameras, we have law enforcement there. It's at our patrol station in our downtown office. Utilize it. I know many people do, but we have signs in the designated areas. There's cameras on that area, and you can exchange your items safely. This is another time of the year when suicide rates go up. This is a time when we need to keep an eye on our families, keep an eye on our loved ones and our friends. People get lonely. And as somebody, my office does run all the mental health warrants for the whole county. And I can tell you that work is serious. And if you see somebody that is in need, is suffering, make sure you reach out to the suicide hotline. I know it's a very difficult thing to discuss, but you just may save their lives. So let's keep an eye on our families for that as well. We also want to make sure that, if you have packages that are going to your houses, direct them to go to your office or go to that neighbor that you know is home and retired. Make sure that you can go there. Have your packages sent there as opposed to just sitting on a porch, because our criminals are out looking to have gifts and items for their families as well. And so those are some of the things, those are some of the tips that we try to message out. And again, Commissioner, thank you so much for putting all of us together. You can tell that we are committed to ensuring that we have a safe holiday. Lastly, we are all stepping up our efforts and providing overtime to go to our shopping malls, where we have extra patrols. You'll see extra marked patrol cars going through our shopping malls and some of our shopping strip centers. We do this every year as a collaborative effort for law enforcement as well, and just making sure that people see that marked patrol car. They're going out and they actually see it. And our job is to preserve life, not take life, make sure that people feel safe. So if you need us, call us. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, healthy, happy holiday season, and God bless you. Thank you. The next run of show is Chief Lori Christensen, our Harris County Fire Marshal. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Lori Christensen. I'm your Harris County Fire Marshal. And as we head into the holidays and the colder weather, you often hear us talk about carbon monoxide, candles, Christmas trees, and safety. But I want you to know it's not only my job, the job of my team, it's the job of each and every one of us to do all that safely. We want you to enjoy the season. But we're going to tell you a large amount of the fire deaths, and I can give you stats that you won't remember, but the honest truth is there are more fatalities during November, December, and January due to home fire deaths. And that is because we're using candles, we have Christmas trees, we're using extension cords. Don't use extension cords. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Give space heaters their space. That's a key thing. Don't plug them into an extension cord. If possible, plug them directly into the wall. If you are going to need to plug them in, put into a surge protector, okay? And when you go, you can go to any of your hardware stores, your stores, big box stores, ask for surge protectors, but give them space. Oftentimes, right, we get cold. We don't want to turn on our main heat, so we're going to use a space heater possibly. And you don't want to put rugs too close to them. You don't want to put your animals too close to them. You know, they want to get warm and cozy just like you do. Also, make sure you have a 3-foot barrier from children and their toys and their rugs and things that they're playing with. This also goes for chimneys. Remember, we turn our chimney on, right? We want to see that fire going. We start hanging things over the chimney. If you haven't cleaned it out, and if you haven't opened up that flute, then you could have either a carbon monoxide poisoning or you could have a fire. Again, put a barrier in front of it. Especially little people, they like to go up and touch things, right? They like to go up and see it. So we want to keep that barrier and teach them early that that's something they don't want to get near. You know, one of the things I always talk about is treat a lot of what we're doing with our children at home much like a game as they're little. I know my grandson loves Minecraft, and so sometimes the way we practice 2 ways out of a new place is, hey, let's play the game as if we were going through and building our blocks, and where do we escape, and how do we do different things. There are ways to teach your children, even if they're little, how to get out of 2 ways out. When you're cooking, make sure when you're cooking you stay in the kitchen. You know, I remember the old days we had the cords where the phone would draw us back to the kitchen, right? That doesn't happen anymore. We walk away. We start watching Hallmark or something on TV, or maybe we start talking to a family member. Stay in the kitchen when you're cooking. And it's so very important because time goes fast. And we see more cooking fires because much of us are staying home cooking. We're baking. And if you're going to have children around or even elderly adults, remember, a lot of times they're going to have a robe on or a blanket around them. Make sure that is staying away from the cooking equipment. Make sure, too, on carbon monoxide, and I know Commissioner has worked so tirelessly on the carbon monoxide and protecting our residents. But again, it gets cold. We don't think about it because, oh, when it's hot outside, we'll start our car sometimes because we want to cool off. Well, don't start your car and want it to get warm and you've got your garage door down. Or even if you have a location where your car backs up to a door that you enter your home. You know, not all of us have garages. Some of us may live in locations that just have something we back into. Make sure that when you start that, you don't want carbon monoxide from your vehicle coming in. We know we can have carbon monoxide from gas leaks and things like that. So if you have a carbon monoxide detector, encourage you to check them. Encourage you to check your smoke detectors. You know, that goes back to the 2 ways out, right? Your smoke detectors. A lot of people go, well, I don't have time to check them twice a month. Okay, check them once a month. You pay your bills once a month, I think. You pay your bills. You do different things once a month. Again, make it a game. Make it something that you bring the family into, because remember, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the next generation. Traveling. I really want to encourage you as you travel and you go to different hotels or maybe Airbnbs or a family member's home. Don't forget to have 2 ways out. One of the things is we're traveling through the holidays. Make sure when you go to a hotel, you count how many doors there are to the stairwell. Why? Because if you have to get low and go, you're going to be able to fill those doors. And again, we're teaching people the right way to do things when they travel. Same thing when you travel with your family. They come to your home. If you have gone through and done everything the way you're supposed to, you've checked the smoke detector, the carbon monoxide detector, and y'all have the 2 ways out, bring in a family game for that. You know, much like anything else we do, bring the family together. You know, I can talk a lot about the sadness of the amount of cooking fires we have, the amount of Christmas fires, the extension cords. It can be even sometimes people will put something out to keep their dogs or their animals that they have outside warm, and that can tie back way too close to the house, right? So remember, anything you do that's related to heat can be of danger, and think about how you're going to work through that. The meeting place outside, when I talk about that, that's very, very important. You want to make sure you're not in front of your home or the area, the street, where the apparatus or any of the law enforcement are going to be coming up. But make sure your family knows, get out and stay out. That's very important. I tell them all the time, get out, stay out. Do not go back in. That's our job. Let us take care of you by going into the home and looking to see if there's anybody else or any of the pets that we can help. Harris County is one of the most diverse counties in the nation. Now, I've talked a lot about Christmas, right? But let's remember, we have Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, we have the Three Kings Day, Lunar New Year. Any of those events, again, has some danger to it when it comes to fire. But candles are a great thing, you know, and I know everybody enjoys them. I try to encourage the ones that you just, you know, put the battery in or they automatically light. But if you're going to use real candles, go through the house, blow them out, make sure you turn them off. Make sure if you're setting up for your Hanukkah that you're setting those not near a place that could catch the curtains or something else like that on fire. So let's not just focus on Christmas safety. It's holiday safety. It's cold weather safety. And I encourage you, businesses, talk to your employees about this. Give them an incentive to want to go home and help their children. Just like we try to tell you to have 2 ways out of a business, have 2 ways out of your home, have more than 2 ways. But again, I want to thank, because my partner's here and Commissioner Briones, and you know, we've worked together for many, many years. And I'll tell you, every year, as Commissioner said, we want to have 0, but we do have tragedies occur. And we're here as the Harris County Fire Marshal's Office to help you. We're here working with all of our constables, our sheriff, any of the partners here in Harris County that we can. So if you need us, call us. Thank you, and I'd like to introduce next Assistant Chief Deputy Hecker from Constable Precinct 4.
As Chief Christensen said, my name is Chief Toby Hecker with Constable Mark Herman's office. And first, I do want to thank Commissioner Briones for giving us the opportunity to come together and to speak about, you know, these public safety things, how important they are, how we make this not just a Christmas time, a Thanksgiving time, a New Year's time, but all through the year we try to focus on these things. But having the opportunity now to get it out to the public is why this is so important. Briefly, I want to go over just a few things that kind of gone over. First is, we began a mobility task force just before Thanksgiving because it being one of the busiest times, and it's been so successful. We're gonna keep that going all the way through New Year's. It did help us get the roads clear. It helped people get to where they need to go visit Grandma's house, and it did help us with a lot of our accidents. Unfortunately, there's still a lot. There's a lot of cars on the road in Harris County, and they're still running into each other. We have people out there looking for that all the time, and we do them, and I like to compare it to, you know, if you ever watch the Discovery Channel shows, you know, you've got the gazelle running through the plains, and they're all running as fast as they can, and the lion runs and catches one, and they all stop and go back to what they were doing. And that's kind of like we do as policemen. We see people violating the traffic laws, driving drunk, doing all these things. We go out there, we catch them, they see us with them caught, and all of a sudden, okay, well, he's there now, so now we're safe again, so we can go do the things we're not supposed to be doing. So we need to try to break that mindset. You're not doing it because you're going to get caught. You're doing it because you might hurt somebody, you might hurt yourself. The DWI task force that the Constable Rosen talked about, that includes all the agencies in this area. We're spearheading it this time because it's our turn. But it's going to be DPS, it's the Sheriff's Office, it's the City of Houston, it's the constables, it's the school districts, it's Jersey Village, it's Tomball, it's Humble. We're all coming together to do that. And so we can do this and get people off the streets and keep our people safe. And one of the last things I want to talk about, Alan Rosen talked about, was we do all these things that we can. We try our best as police officers to go out there to stop this, to stop people from stealing packages. But there's one thing that we really need help with, and as Commissioner I said the same thing as Constable Rosen said, as Constable Rosen said, and that's suicide prevention. You know, many things shocked me when I became a police officer of what you weren't running, but one of the biggest was how many suicides there actually are. I had no idea until you become a policeman, you have to respond to a lot of these calls, how many there are. And these aren't the ones you think about, you know, they're all bad, but the ones you think about, these are kids as young as 10, 11 years old. These are elderly who have no family anymore and they've just lost hope. You know, these are things that we as Texans can help. You know, when you see somebody by themselves, say hi, just smile. Something as simple as that. This time of year, the busiest holiday for suicides, is New Year's Day. You know, is by far the busiest. And just as a tid poll, so if you're ever in a trivia thing, the busiest day is actually a Monday. But so check them on a Monday especially. But as you're going through the holidays, if you see somebody, say hi. If you have a neighbor who's by themselves, break them cookies. Or even better, invite them over. Invite them over to help you make cookies for Christmas. You know, make them feel part of something. You see someone that comes in the church alone, say hi. If they're walking through a grocery store and they're by themselves and they can obviously look at what they're buying, looks like they're living by themselves, just smile, just say hi. Maybe that's all it takes. But that's something that, like the constable said, we need to put some effort to. As police officers, it's hard for us. We get the calls when they're in crisis. So either it's already too late or we're doing all we can to get them to the hospital so they don't do something. But as Texans and as Houstonians and as people living in Harris County, we can do more to help our neighbors. You know, like is the state motto is let's just be friendly and do what we can, especially during this holiday time. And next will be Chief Jared Goff with Constable Alberton's office.
I promise I'm not going to switch y'all's roles. First, I want to thank Commissioner Briones and all the law enforcement partners here today and to try to get this messages out for the holidays. A few things I want to touch on. Of course, we're involved in the DWI initiative, so that's been talked about several times, so I won't discuss that. What Constable Alberton will be doing this year, which we've done years past, is same thing that the Constable Rosen said, is we'll be increasing a big presence in parking lots of malls, strip centers, hopefully to cut down on the burglary of motor vehicles and to make sure all the shoppers, the patrons feel safe. A few other holiday tips. I know it's been hit on before as far as the deliveries. You know, try to manage your deliveries. You know, set a time, set a date, specific drop-off instructions to the companies, Amazon or FedEx. Have a neighbor looking out for your package. When he gets there, you can call them and they can come pick it up. Like I think what the constable said, have the packages delivered to your work or use a smart box. When shopping, try to park in well-lit areas. Be sure to lock your car. Avoid carrying large amounts of cash. Try to use, your debit card if you can. Be aware of your surroundings. Try to avoid wearing expensive jewelry. And try to make yourself, not a target. If you can, always shop with a family member or a friend. There's safety in numbers. If you're going from location to location, I know it's very hard to do, but try not to leave all your valuables in the car that you just bought because you could become a victim. If you're at the bank and you withdraw a large sum of cash, don't walk out of the bank with a bank envelope or a money bag in your hand. Try to put your money in your purse, your wallet, and conceal it before you leave the bank so the jugging does not occur. If you do feel like somebody's following you home from the bank, don't go home. Go to the nearest police station, call us, and let us know what's going on, and we can try to intercept you before you actually get to the station, or when you get to the station, we'll be there waiting on you. Collectively, all of us together, our goal is to make this a very, very safe holiday for everyone. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you. Next speaker is Whitney Raspberry.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Whitney Raspberry. I am the Vehicular Crimes Division Chief for the Harris County District Attorney's Office. We come here today, as many of my law enforcement partners have already said, to fight against drunk driving and impaired driving. And I'm here to tell you that each time we get up here, we do it because we experience these families every single day who have lost their loved one. These decisions don't just affect you. It will affect you. It will affect your family. But you are also making a choice that has the potential to devastate not only the victim, but their entire family as well. And we get up here to tell you, please plan ahead. Please make choices to call an Uber, to get a designated driver. Because unfortunately, even though the holidays are supposed to be a joyous occasion, and they are for many, we also do see an uptick in both impaired driving as well as domestic violence. And we ask you that when you're going to these parties, when you're planning those parties with coworkers and family, just plan ahead. Just plan ahead, because if you get there and you don't already have a plan, it's easier for you to get behind the wheel and say, oh, it's just 5 miles away. Because most of those crashes, most of our fatality crashes happen very close to home. And that is something that has impacted me greatly as I go out to these scenes and our victims are almost home, or the defendant is almost home. So when you're going out to celebrate, just know that we have extra prosecutors, there are extra law enforcement. We have no refusal prosecutors out in the holidays, just like for July 4th and Memorial Day and all of those holidays. We have those extra no refusal prosecutors there to write the blood warrants. We have them to help law enforcement officers to identify these impaired drivers and help bring them into the justice system before they take that next step to commit a fatality. And you know, people don't realize in one split second, that misdemeanor DWI can become a fatality. All it takes is one split second before that change occurs. So if you commit a crime during the holiday season, the Harris County District Attorney's Office is prepared to hold you accountable. Thank you. And I'm going to introduce Amy Smith, the Senior Director of Ops and Communications.
Good morning. My name is Amy Smith, and I'm with the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council. First of all, I would like to thank Commissioner Briones and all of the commissioners and the county judge for investing so much in domestic violence and recognizing and understanding and realizing what a serious crime domestic violence is in Harris County. As the sheriff said, we've lost people this year that shouldn't have been lost. Everyone is so happy that it's the holiday season. Everyone wants to go visit friends and family and spend the time with your family members. Sometimes that's the most dangerous time for a victim of domestic violence. They have to pretend that everything is okay. They have to pretend that I'm okay, that my children are okay, that everything's gonna be just fine. So what we would ask is that if you are a victim of domestic violence, reach out to your families and friends. If you are a family member or a friend of someone who is a victim of domestic violence, reach out to them, believe them, don't question them. I will never forget interviewing the aunt of a victim who was killed by her intimate partner. And what she said about the defendant was, he was always the first one to help you move. He was always the one that manned the barbecue grill. It's the outside. You don't know what's going on at the inside and at home. And here's the most important thing that we always forget. We need to stop blaming the victim, and we need to hold perpetrators accountable. So during this holiday season, if you see some behavior that is unacceptable, that makes you question, I wonder what's really going on, hold that perpetrator accountable. In this season where stress is out of this world, we are all suffering from higher prices. There might be some issues with people afraid to call the police because they're afraid who else is going to show up besides police officers. What we're asking you for is help your family, help your friends. There are resources that are out there. You can call the domestic violence hotline at 1-877-SAFE. 1-800-77-SAFE. Call the domestic violence hotline. Ask for resources. If there's not resources available, go to your family and friends. As a family and friend, open your homes. Be available, but be safe. That's the most important thing. Go to a family member that your perpetrator doesn't know. Go someplace that you feel safe, that they don't know where you are, because we need everybody to be safe. As all of our law enforcement partners have said, they're available. Please call them because it's necessary to do so. They all have victim services that are available, and the victim services can get you to where you need to go, and it's okay. It's okay not to be okay during this holiday season, but it's also okay to reach for help. So now I'm going to turn it over to Charisse Thomas with MAD.
Good morning, good morning. My name is Charisse Thomas. I am a victim survivor. My daughter was not killed during Christmas or New Year's. It was Super Bowl, which is also a celebration. She was 18 years old, February 3rd of 2020, coming home from school. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the guy decided to get in the weapon and take her life. That changed our life forever. He was going 66, she was going 6. The impact killed her instantly. He broke every bone in her body, from the top of her head to her waist. All that he did not break, we donated. Destiny had just gotten her acceptance letter 30 minutes before her demise. She was going to Southern with a double major. She was a hard-working student, a high school student. She did cosmetology. She was a straight A student, perfect attendance, and worked 2 jobs. She did it all, and in an instant, that was all taken away. We didn't get to see Destiny cross the stage. We don't get to see her get married, have kids. All we live now is with memories. The guy that took Destiny's life got 5 years. I got a life sentence. I will forever sit at a table with an empty chair. Not a day goes by that I don't think about her and what she could have done and should have done. During these holidays, our family share memories of things that we could have done, we should have done. I ask that you don't drink and drive. Think about me, think about us, think about Destiny. I want to thank Matt for allowing me to speak, and everybody up here for holding me accountable and holding my hand. No parent should ever have to bury their kid. Thank you. I want to pass it back over to the commissioner.
So Ms. Thomas, thank you for sharing your story. And no parent should ever have to go through what you went through. And to Mothers Against Drunk Driving and all of the parents and people who have lost someone they've loved. It is up to us as Houstonians, as Harris County residents, as Texans, to take care of each other. It is up to us to make the holidays as safe as they can be. It is up to us to make sure we are watching our friends and taking away keys when someone should not be behind the wheel. It is up to us as we plan to go out with friends to make sure you're the one leading the plan for safety. I want to thank all of the partners here today. And I'm so proud of the collaboration that we have here in Harris County between all of our law enforcement agencies, with our fire marshal and all of our first responders, our medical responders, with the district attorney's office, with the courts, with nonprofits, with the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council, with the dozens and dozens of community leaders, community activists, and nonprofits that are in this space. I'm really proud of the collaboration. We work across the county, across aisles. We work in cities, county, state. I mean, we are Texans, and we must treat each other with the love that I believe is the best part of the holiday season. And so no, to my colleague's point, in Harris County, we will hold you accountable. So do it out of love. Make right decisions out of love, and know that if you don't, our law enforcement partners, our district attorney, our courts, we will hold you accountable. But do it for the right reasons, not because you're afraid of getting caught, but do it because you love yourself, you love your family, you love your friends, you love your neighbor. And that is the spirit of Harris County and why I moved here years ago. And so let us make sure that no more moms have to live with what Ms. Thomas has to live with every single day. So with that, we hope that this holiday season, I'm an optimist. I hope this will be one of the safest yet, because all of us come together and do what Texans do best, take care of each other. With that, we will open it up for any questions. Thank you for being here today.